We'll now welcome our first panel, Congressman Phil Gingrey from Georgia. You're recognized. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. Chairman Issa, thank you. Ranking Member Lynch, Member Cummings, other members of the Subcommittee on the Federal Workforce, United States Postal Service, and Labor Policy. I appreciate the opportunity to testify on an important issue facing the Federal workforce. It's already been mentioned in your opening statements in regard to opposition to legislation that I have proffered, H.R. 122, that in some way this takes away rights of the Federal worker in regard to collective bargaining. I think it was referenced that some of the things that are going on in various states, Wisconsin in particular. But I want to make it very clear in starting my opening statement that this bill that I have proffered, H.R. 122, which you will consider, in no way, shape, or form takes away any Federal employee's rights to collective bargaining, indeed to representational activity on behalf of those union members who are designated to arbitrate and file grievances on their behalf. The question is basically who pays for that. And under current law, and since 33 years ago when the Civil Service Reform Act was passed in 1978 and signed into law by President Jimmy Carter, the issue basically stated that official time could include whatever is reasonable in the public interest. Well, that's not very definitive, and over the 33 years since the passage of that law, the use, in my opinion, of official time has been abused, quite frankly. And those who pay for official time are we, the taxpayer, not you, the union member. And I don't think that's right. The ranking member mentioned that in some way this bill is placing the blame on the Federal workforce for the cause of the debt and the deficit, and putting the burden on the backs of our hardworking Federal employees. My bill does really nothing of the kind, and as you peruse it and hopefully mark it up, maybe even change it a bit, I think you'll come to that same conclusion. Again, when the law was passed in Civil Service Reform Act in 1978, there was no requirement for any report on the total amount, the total number of hours, the total expenses of official time. In fact, in the past 33 years, only 9 times have reports been issued. Although in 2002, the then director of the Office of Personnel Management put out a directive to all agencies of the Federal Government in the interest of full disclosure to the taxpayer. You will issue a report and file it on your website in a timely fashion. During those 4 or 5 years from 2002 to 2007, what we found was the total number of hours used in official time hours on filing grievances, collective bargaining, walking around, whatever that is, on the behalf of the union representational activity, have increased. The total number of hours and the total amount of expense to we, the taxpayer, over $100 million, by the way, and that's not nickels and dimes, members of the subcommittee, and I think you would agree with that. And I think it's the responsibility of us and particularly your committee and certainly particularly your subcommittee, Chairman Ross, to take a close, hard look at this with a sharp pencil. Make sure that no rights are taken away from Federal employees. And again, as I say, my bill does not do that. It comes down to the question of who's going to pay for it. And today, who pays for it are the taxpayers, not the union dues. Union dues are used for other things, political activity, signing up new members, lobbying on behalf of specific issues, either for or against. Indeed, when we offered this as an amendment to the CR just, not even a month ago, we received, I received as a member, an email from an employee of the Environmental Protection Agency urging me as a member not to support this amendment. And, you know, that was at 2:30 in the afternoon that I received that email. I don't know whether this employee was a designated representative of the union for that particular division of the EPA, but whether they were officially the representative or just an employee for the EPA. During that period of time at 2:30 in the afternoon, they were supposed to be working, doing EPA work, very important work for we the taxpayer, yet they were lobbying members of Congress to vote against this bill. And that's totally disallowed in the Civil Service Reform Act of 1978. So, you know, we clearly have a problem. Obviously, in the 5 minutes, and I appreciate your patience with me, Mr. Chairman, because I know I've gone over a little bit, but I have submitted my entire report to the committee for the official record. But I just think that the responsible thing for members on both sides of the aisle is to address this issue. If my bill is not perfect, and I feel pretty confident that it's not perfect, you go over it with a sharpened pencil and a fine-tooth comb and make sure that we get it right, because hundreds of millions of dollars a year, and since the reporting has not been done in a timely manner, in fact, not done at all in a couple of the last 3 or 4 years, the amount of time spent on official time by people making $30, $40 an hour, not working at all for the taxpayer, has actually gone up and the cost has gone up. So with that, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee, once again, I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to testify.